week's news, let's start out with a couple nerd therapy-esque questions. And I'll start off. So pick a sequel to Eternals or Shang-Chi. Give it a general outline. What would you do? What would you expect? But push the MCU forward a little bit. Now, before we get into that, there's of course news regarding those, both of them. So Eternals 2 might not come out. We'll get into that. But assuming it does, Dave, what do you got?
So I skipped Eternals for an idea for a sequel just because I want one. I just don't know what the hell to do with the story. So I went with Shang-Chi, and I don't know how much this was help. This was just a kind of quick idea, but I think it'd be cool. You know, we know that Shang-Chi is a part of the Avengers now. He's gone through all that. You know, they brought him in, welcome to the club kind of deal. And we know that Matt Murdock is acknowledged by the Avengers to an extent at this point, too. He met Bruce Banner. He met Spider-Man. He met Happy Hogan. He's in the game. He's in the mix now. So I think it'd be cool if somehow, I don't know how they get to it, but Shang-Chi and Daredevil are interacting, whether it's while Daredevil was in California or maybe Shang-Chi comes out to New York. And that leads to him being like, you know, I got a buddy who has a similar backstory to you here. And bam, enter Danny Rand. And then we see the Iron Fist and Shang-Chi exploring the powers of the Ten Rings, getting down to that. And then they kind of come across history with Shang-Chi's dad that ties into the history of the Iron Fist. And we get both of those things kind of fleshed out a little bit. And then somehow it ends up bringing them back to New York. We got this street-level team. And enter Moon Knight towards the end. And so now Daredevil and Spider-Man, we got a little street-level team going on there. And then we got a little possible Midnight Suns going forward with Blade, Moon Knight, Shang-Chi. So that in those ways, it would advance the MCU. We'd finally get the street-level stuff going. We'd finally get some way for Moon Knight to fit back into things. Even though I didn't really lay out a way Moon Knight would come in. I just said, bam, he's there. But something along those lines would be cool.
Bam. That's easy.
Shang-Chi's interesting because he's a character that's on the fence. I don't know if he's in the multiverse side of things or the street side of things. You know, he can go either way. So that'd be sick to bring him to the street. And we heard, we'll talk about it more today too, about Iron Fist showing up in Shang-Chi too. So I don't know if you knew that, but it's ironic.
I did hear rumors kind of after I started working it up.
Okay.
Right.
Love, what do you got?
Well, I'll pick Eternals 2 then. I'll try and redeem them. So we know that Chloe Zhao is not coming back, so they'll get a new director, try and change things, make it a little more MCU style. And, I mean, we got to go back to Tiamat Island, see what's going on with that resort, what the people have been doing to it. But, of course, for a mutant tie-in, they should somehow tie this in, bring one X-Men character into this movie, and just show their origin on Tiamat Island or however they got there. You know what I mean? So I think that would be a good way to move the story forward with the X-Men knowing that they're coming in the future.
Acknowledge that thing.
Pull some X-Men into it. That'd be sick. It is adamantium, so eventually that's going to be Wolverine, right?
Right.
So I did Eternals too, and I just went with the Hail Mary. The opening scene, we're going to have the Watcher just looking at all these realities, and he might tell us that some of these shows have not been realities, but we're going to zoom out, and he's talking to Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange, like, what has he been up to? And they're going to talk about the multiverse issues, incursions, but then the Watcher's going to explain to us that we need certain heroes, and if the Celestials' judgment destroys Earth here, we're not going to be able to save the multiverse. And you can't do anything as a sorcerer against these Celestials, so you're not going to be a part of the game, but, like, this is what's going down. So whatever happens in this Eternals movie is, the fate of the MCU's on the line. Boom, Hail Mary, we all have a common goal, a common threat, and then you could have a really important Eternals movie that already feels like, it's so important. And boom, there's my Eternals too.
There you go.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I love it.
Hail Mary, baby.
Hell yeah. Might as well.
And then they'll stop the Celestials for the movie. they'll stop Tiamat from his judgment on Earth.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That'd be dope.
All right, what do you guys got?
Nerd therapy?
Dave, you got anything?
No, it's all you. You got this one.
Whatever you want. Yep. Oh, I thought you had a couple things. Okay.
No,
I
I got
had
a
a
couple
Nerd
things.
Octagon too.
Caleb does.
Okay. Got you. That's my bad.
All right. So you're stranded on a deserted island, but you do have electricity and a TV and a DVD player somehow. You know, that's the conditions.
Classic.
And there's only six DVDs on this island, but you can only choose one director. So you have to pick enjoyment and rewatchability. So this is the rest of your life on this island. So we have Denis Villeneuve. So you get Dune 1 and 2, Blade Runner, Sicario, Arrival, and Prisoners.
I mean,
Pretty stacked. Only get those 6 though. And then of course we have Nolan. So you get The Dark Knight plus Dark Knight Rises, Oppenheimer, Interstellar, Inception, and Prestige. Which is also 6 bangers.
Oh God.
And then last one, Tarantino. You get Kill Bill 1 and 2, Pulp Fiction, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Django, and Reservoir Dogs. JD, you got an answer? What would you do on this deserted island?
I think I'm going to go with Nolan, and it's because of Heath Ledger and The Dark Knight, and Interstellar is my favorite sci-fi movie. But Arrival's also a really good sci-fi movie, and the Dunes. Oh, but the Prestige. Yeah, but I think I got to do it, so I got to throw some comic love in there and give it to The Dark Knight and Nolan on that, and Interstellar, and there's a bunch of other good movies, but Villeneuve, that director's right behind him.
Yeah.
oh boy, that's brutal. I'm gonna go ahead and throw all 3 of those stacks to the side and bring in Peter Jackson's collection. No, I would though. I would
No,
100%.
that was not the
Take the
option.
3 Hobbits and the 3 Lord of the Rings. It'd be worth it.
Oh my god.
God, as much as I want to say Denis because of how strongly I'm feeling about Dune Part 2 right now, and you'd have the Blade Runner, you'd have the Dune 2 stuff, but you also have Arrival, and like you have and Prisoners, like it spans genres.
Sicario.
Yeah, and
Prisoners
Sicario.
and Sicario. Yeah.
God, man. I just
Those are
I don't
good.
think I can turn down Interstellar and Inception and all of that with The Dark Knight, with the ultimate
Yeah.
comic book movie in that. Oh, I guess I'll go Nolan. Wait, did you say Oppenheimer was involved in that?
I did.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, that's better.
Nolan.
Yeah. Nolan, yeah. I think I have to agree with you. And I did leave some other movies out, but I had to give you everyone like a 1 and 2 movies of a series, a part of their trilogy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or Kill Bill's only 2, but Tarantino, most of his movies are just a little too gory and crazy. You don't want to be just sitting there watching all these fucking brutal movies over and over again.
All right. Moving on. All right, so we know that DC, or we're going to find out today on our Week in Geek, that we're going to hear about a lot of new DCU movies coming out. So, last question, or unless Love, you have some more. But what DCU movie do you think we might hear about coming out? Or what DC movie would you like to see coming out? Love, what do you got?
I got 2. Cyborg, I think that would be cool. He definitely got shafted in the DCEU with Zack Snyder. So I would like to give him a redemption, and just that whole dynamic with his dad about how, he's like his mentor, but also like his punisher, his abuser, and so that's a whole crazy dynamic between them. And then Martian Manhunter would also be cool because he was just barely in like
Really
the end of
cool.
Justice League, right? Was
Yeah.
that the movie, or Batman vs Superman? Was it the end
It
of that
was
one? I
Justice
can't
League.
remember. Okay. Yeah, so it'd be cool to see him just like the shape-shifting abilities and how he's just like, infiltrating, and it could be like a Secret Invasion style DC show or movie.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be sick. That'd be a top 3. Dave, what do you got?
Yeah, so I'm going back to my well that I've gone to before, and I'm pitching Plastic Man. Let's get a James Gunn Plastic Man movie coming to it. Bring the GOAT into the universe. Everybody's been waiting for a live-action iteration. The hashtags are out there. It's global. We need a Plastic Man movie. So that's one of mine. In my second one, it actually kind of got spoiled an hour. So we tried to record this episode a couple nights ago. We had some technical difficulties. And I already have my answers for this. And then an hour after we stopped, I saw news of something. And my pick was Teen Titans. We had heard rumors about it, but we'd talked about it and be like, that would be super cool. And it was kind of my prediction for maybe they announce that soon. So yeah, I wanted a Teen Titans movie. They could really freaking kill it with this. I've already seen fan casting Jenna Ortega as Raven, which I don't know how I feel about that one, but I think it'd be awesome. It's an easy slam dunk, and they can beat Marvel to the punch for the whole Young Avengers deal. So yeah, Teen Titans was mine, but it looks like they're doing it. It's in the works now.
Totally. Yeah. Wonder what Robin they'll use. I didn't know what to pick. I went with John Constantine, I think, just to open up the magic side of things. The only thing is, I think they're still doing Constantine 2 with Keanu Reeves. But if they do that, I don't think Constantine's coming anytime soon to the DCU. But he's a really fun, interesting character. He can kind of open up that magical gateway into Swamp Thing and all that stuff. So I went with John Constantine. And I think it might happen, too.
And Keanu Reeves' Constantine 2 would be like an Elseworlds movie, right?
100%, yeah.
Yeah. That's a good pick.
All right, you got anything else?
Yeah, I just got two more. It'll go real quick. I don't know if we've done this one before, but it's a fun one. Pick a Marvel hero's powers, but for everyday life. So maybe it's like a secret, but these things could just help you the most in your everyday life.
Definitely Professor X. 100%. Just blend into society, but you have the upper hand in any situation.
Right?
Whether be in a wheelchair.
Yeah, no matter what it is. Unless it's a cougar attacking you in the forest. No wheelchairs, right? Just powers.
No, dude. The if you you have to shoot yourself up with needles if you don't want to be in a wheelchair. So.
Oh fuck. Quicksilver. You'll never be late. That's it.
There you go.
There you go.
I don't know,
Dave,
man.
you think
That's
of
tough. I'd go Black Panther, but I guess you only said the ability, so I don't know if his intelligence and gadgets come with that. So outside of that, I guess it'd just be super strength. So if I don't get the gadgets and intelligence, then the power-wise,
join the UFC.
Yeah, I'd be Spider-Man. Screw it. Just give me web shooters. I'm just gonna swing around the buildings. I don't know how that helps me in life.
Right? Hey, screw it.
Be fun.
I was gonna say Doctor Strange. That would be kind of cool.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Yeah. You can pour your own beer right in front of you.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, there you go.
I changed my answer.
But JD, you reminded me, Mystique would be cool too.
That would be pretty cool, but it's only for deception because, I don't think I would.
I'd do it.
You only need it. It's only if you're stealing stuff or doing something shady.
Yeah, that's true. You couldn't do good things with Mystique's powers.
Right. You could.
I'm sure there is. 100%. Yeah.
My first thoughts immediately went to transforming into somebody with a high security clearance and getting into some crazy stuff we don't see or know about. Being able to see things that are so. Yeah, it would be.
That'd be cool.
In that regard, but I would do that.
All right, is that all?
That's it.
Sweet. Let's do it.
You might want to try and talk just a little bit closer to your mic.
Okay. I got to be close but far away so I don't hit anything.
Okay.
No, but I could totally.
Was it coming in quiet for you, Leb?
No, it just felt kind of echoey or laptop micy a little bit.
Okay.
I didn't pick up on it, but the delay thing didn't work.
Post edit this.
So.
No, I think it's good.
I got a 5-second delay for me.
Yeah, that's happening for sure.
Yeah.
Since we'll post edit this, I want to touch up the cold open since I thought Dave brought some shit, but yeah, that was all messy.
All right.
Straight up.
All right, ready? That means I could probably start. Right?
Yeah. Oh, this jackass.
Oh, hell yeah. What is up, guys? Welcome to Why So Sidious, a nerd podcast, where all three hosts agree that Season 1 of The Mandalorian is the best season. Yeah, this is a Week in Geek where we discuss the latest news and nerd fandom. You want some video clips, the full video, or want to interact with us? Check us out on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and X at Why So Cities Pod. We just dropped our Dune 2 review, along with the Dune 1 review, actually. The Dune 2 review, I had technical difficulties, couldn't continue that recording, but Dave and Caleb held it down. We also have a few comic book reviews, just dropped Sinestro Corps War, so check that out. And there's others. Before we get into some Marvel news, and then Star Wars, and then DC, David, what are some significant release date changes going on?
So we got some dates here. Well, the main one really is Batman 2. So we got a big news update came out that has Batman 2 being pushed back all the way to 2026. So that's a bit of a bummer. That's a full year delay. And, it's probably for good reason, but, it hurts seeing that when we were thinking we were getting that with Superman in 2025.
Yeah, come on. It's been so long, too. What was it, 2021?
Right.
When it came out?
Yeah, 2021. So
5 years? Good Lord.
That's a tough
And a
one.
whole year of a delay, too.
Dude, whole thing.
There must have been some scheduling conflicts or James
I
Gunn
saw
didn't
something.
like it. Who knows?
I saw something that Matt Reeves is actually known to be kind of a lazy director, and he's just kind of pushing his
Doesn't care.
time, I guess. I think he cares a lot. I think he might not have the best work ethic, or unorganized, or laziness, or something. That's what I read, something about that I didn't consider, I guess. But yeah, I thought the strikes were over, man. That's a bummer. A whole year is a lot to wait. 2025 was super exciting, and part of that was because the Batman 2 was coming out. But still exciting, just a little less.
Yeah, just a little less. But we do have good news. It's not exactly a release date, but Ahsoka Season 2 is confirmed to begin filming in late 2024. So that's a positive report there that we got there. Let's go! So hell yeah. We don't really know what the premise is going to be, but we know our heroes are off in that unknown universe, and they got to get back. So that's pretty dope. And the only other thing was Venom was pushed up to October. So we had talked about that. It was, I think, slated for November initially.
Oh, yeah, JD.
But they pushed it forward a month. So Halloween Venom coming in hot. At least it didn't get delayed. And it's called Venom 3: The Last Dance, which is a rough name, but
Yeah,
what does that even mean?
I don't know.
Michael Jordan documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you guys excited? I'm not that excited about Venom 3, but
I'm not.
we'll see.
Yeah, because it just seems like a pointless universe at this point. Like, the Sony universe
Totally.
is just so dead besides Into the Spider-Verse,
Totally.
but that's that's a whole nother universe by itself.
Yeah, I don't know where they're
Yeah.
going. Just have no idea what to expect. So it's hard to get excited for it.
Anything else on the scheduling there, Dave?
Not concrete. We got a couple of rumors up ahead, but those are all the concrete news announcements for that stuff right now.
There we go.
All right. Well, let's get into the Marvel news, and let's start by talking about Deadpool 3, Deadpool and Wolverine cameos. So, Caleb, who do you think's showing up in this movie?
Right. Well, Karan Sony, who plays Dopinder in all three movies, the taxi cab driver,
Oh, yeah.
Deadpool's homie. What is it? Well, how do you say it? Dopinder.
Dopinder. Yeah, there you go.
Dupinder.
I thought it was Dew. Mountain Dew.
He says he wasn't shocked when Jackman joined the franchise. When we were making the second one, Ryan was plotting back then. I remember him spilling that at lunch one day that he had started a conversation with Hugh. I remember saying people are going to flip out. Then the studio got sold to Disney and a lot of other stuff happened. But of course, Ryan followed through. It was his dream casting. It's pretty wild. So Reynolds has been plotting this for a long time. And he also said he was very careful about spilling too much. This new MCU version is ultra secretive, but teased that fans will be blown away by what else is included in the film. There are a lot of surprises. let's just say a lot of people traveled to London. So, pretty wild. Yeah, we'll see. So I took down some odds on who we will see in this movie. And just in case you aren't a degenerate gambler out there, listeners. So basically, if the number has a plus sign in front of it, the larger the number, the less likely this cameo is to take place. So I want you guys to say if you'd put 5, 10, or $20 down on it. So first we got Owen Wilson, plus 150.
I put 20 on that.
I'm putting 10 on that.
Right? I mean, it's so likely with the TVA in this movie that we're going to get Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. 20. He's definitely going to be in that movie.
Right. Chris Evans, but maybe as the Human Torch. Johnny Storm instead. Plus 250. I guess this could be Captain America too if you want to take either one. But as not in the video.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Real, actually.
Just 5. Just 5.
Same.
If you have to at all.
$5.
Yeah,
or
it's a little
not
more
betting.
risky.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, how about Liev Schreiber or Tyler Mane? Plus 500. This is, of course, Sabretooth.
Tyler Mane. Oh, the original Sabretooth.
Yeah.
For both of them, it has to be an
either
thing.
Or no, either one.
Either or.
20.
I'm putting 20.
Yeah, just the
well, we saw him.
Sabretooth in this film.
We saw him, so it's
Did
already,
we? Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there was set photos.
Oh.
So I'm putting 20. I'm putting
well,
100.
definitely 20 then.
Putting 1,000.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. This
throw 10
next
on
one.
Leave, too.
Okay. So this
Yeah,
next one is a
I think
combo.
it would be.
Oh,
Sorry. You got it.
this next one is a combo. So both of them have to show up, and it's Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, plus 650.
Oh, man. Both of them? I almost...
No.
Both of them.
I would...
5 or none.
I would put 5 on that confidently and maybe 10.
There you go.
I think James McAvoy might be in here. I'm pretty sure Patrick Stewart.
You're getting
is.
good
We've already
odds, juicy odds.
Already seen him.
I think Patrick would be. I don't think Ian will show up though. I don't think that'll complete the circle there. I don't see Ian McKellen showing up. Even though he's always up for a good time. He doesn't take himself too seriously. He's dope. He shows up and stuff, but
Right.
Wait, I'm almost positive that Patrick Stewart said in an interview that we're coming back. He said it like an old timer that's not really in tune with keeping secrets, and I think they tried to cover it up. And I'm pretty sure he said, "Yeah, I mean, I think they're cooking stuff up for us for a new movie, blah blah blah." And yeah,
fair enough then. All right,
you can throw your
All right,
5
we got,
more confidently.
Yeah, right. Colin Farrell, Bullseye, plus 800.
No, I'm not going to do that. 5 if I can't.
yeah.
No.
That's a lot.
Yeah, you don't have to bet on it if you want.
I don't see
Halle Berry, plus 800 as Storm.
Ooh.
I'll throw 5 on that.
Yeah, I was just
Right,
gonna
you
say
think-
I'll throw 5.
I can
on
see
it.
it.
5 on it.
There you go.
Okay, how about James Marsden, plus 1,000 as Cyclops?
I'll throw 15
JD's
on
boy.
that.
There you
Yeah,
go.
he did say something online. I'll throw 20 on it.
He's one of those guys who
Wait,
likes
it's
being
just crazy.
active. Like he likes having
Yeah.
his face out there. It feels like.
Cyclops was said. I mean, he said something online about coming back. I don't know if either you brought that to the Week in Geek, but I don't think I brought it. But I saw it
Oh,
damn.
No, I didn't.
because it's just another rumor, another character. So I was like, nah, we're not going to get into all that.
All right, just 3 more, but it's just wild that there's even a possibility of any of these people coming in this movie. It's going to be so crazy. How about Ben Affleck, plus 1,000 as Daredevil?
'Cause
How funny would
Elektra's
that
there.
be?
I'll go with it. Yeah, because Elektra's there.
Yeah, throw
Yeah.
5.
I'll throw 10.
Wesley Snipes,
Oh.
plus 1,200.
0. I'm out.
Blade.
I'm out on that. I know he needs the money, but I'm out.
Oh shit. Nicolas Cage, Ghost Rider, plus 1,200 too.
Ooh, I'll throw 5 on it. They keep
So
talking
down
about.
for that.
That would be so sick, though, huh?
Yeah.
10 bucks.
There you go. So we'll see Deadpool comes out in, 3 months, 4 months.
Bro.
We'll go to the betting sports book and get our money.
That's wild.
Come to San Diego.
You know, I
See
thought
it
you were going to
together.
have another cameo on there.
Did you have?
God.
Is there one more you'd like to add?
Yeah, I might as well. I mean, it's somewhat of a news thing. I don't know if JD had this planned down the line, and if he did, I am sorry. But we're talking about the cameos here. And one of the news things we had was we saw Henry Cavill signed an undisclosed MCU cameo, or not cameo, but an MCU role. And so a lot of this stuff coming out, and it's coming from this one guy who I don't like to put a lot on, but it's Daniel RPK, and he said that he can confirm that Henry Cavill signed on for a Wolverine variant role for Deadpool and Wolverine. So it's only going to be that is what he's doing for the MCU, but he's going to be a Wolverine variant. And he said, again, I don't know how he knows this, but he said people are going to love his role in this movie. So I don't know what that means. But.
What if they introduce him as the new Cyclops? That'd be sick.
No, I would rather that than the variant, but
Right, because then he's one and done.
yeah.
Right.
I wonder
Alright.
if he's just in it for like 5 minutes.
Exactly.
Actually, I got one for you too. X-23 plus 200.
There you go. No, that'd be cool because that's how Logan ended, of course.
Yeah, I think that'd be one of the coolest characters to see. Very beloved,
Growing
very
up.
popular, and just savage.
Yeah, was it Daphne Keene plays her? So she'd be an
Yeah.
older. Oh, I think I would actually. I feel better about that one than about half of them. I think that Caleb threw out there. I think I'd put
Yeah.
money on that one. Yeah.
Oh my! Oh,
Yeah.
Well, no insult to you. I'm just saying. I feel good about her.
I'm just kidding.
All right, cool. Any more of those?
That's it.
Okay.
Movie's gonna be crazy.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, we brought up Daniel RPK, so let's just get into some of those rumors. Let's give it, a thumbs up, thumbs down if we believe it or we don't believe it. Talk about it or whatever. But, Dave, what kind of rumors we got floating out there?
Yeah, so for some reason, now we're in the season that 90% of the rumors coming out are all sourced to Daniel RPK. Every other page out there, I swear it's 90% of them, it's Daniel RPK said this and that, so I don't know.
My time to shine. Hello.
Yeah, it's this year. It's Daniel RPK's time to shine right now. So he's dropping all these rumors. One of them, it involves something we already talked about, which is Shang-Chi is rumored to start filming in 2025, and it's rumored to involve time travel and Iron Fist, which neither of that really made me jump out, even though that was part of my theory for. I'd be down if they do Iron Fist the right way, but God, bro, the last thing I was wanting was time travel again in a plot, but. I don't know. What do you guys think? Think that might be the case?
I could see them doing it. They're kind of in love with time travel these days, but I'm not a fan of it. I mean, let's just move the story forward. Let's stop jumping around so much. Unless they're going to kind of maybe Iron Fist is in the past somehow, but they've already told that story before, so I'm down with Iron Fist, but let's not do time travel.
A part of me feels like there's something story-wise they have to do to push the MCU forward that still has time or multiverse or quantum stuff. I almost feel like they have to do it because with all the backlash on the multiverse stuff, the big changes with who's in charge has already happened a while ago, and those changes are already being made place. And I feel like they're scrapping all the multiverse stuff unless it's essential. So it just makes me think that it's going to be like super important to pushing the MCU forward, and because otherwise, I don't think they would just go out of their way to keep going multiverse and keep going time travel and stuff. I don't think they would unless they have to.
It's like they're backed in a corner right now that they have to tell this story to. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but can cut out some other stuff here and there though.
Yeah, that could be it. Another rumor coming out of him is. We know that Iger is making changes like we just talked about, and one of the talks going around is that they are going to stop putting money and effort into risks and cut back onto things that are more of a sure thing to pay out. They know it's going to bring in profit. So they're really cutting down on a lot of those projects, which that's cool. And that's also kind of a bummer because it takes away the chances of things like Guardians of the Galaxy, which was a risk at the start, but I won't get into that. That's not the point of this source here. The rumor is that among those changes, Eternals 2 and Captain Marvel 3 and Ant-Man 4 have all been scrapped from Disney's future projects. Eternals 2 being the more notable one of that because I don't think we expected Captain Marvel 3 or Ant-Man 4 after Quantumania. But again, this is a rumor. Well, this is not official. We'll see. What do you think?
I would have been okay with the Captain Marvel 3 because I felt like Captain Marvel 2 is just so. It wasn't her movie. It was the three of them together, and I would be okay with her getting a true solo movie in Captain Marvel 3.
Okay. All right. Well, don't look like she's gonna get it, but
yeah. Right? No, yeah.
She'll be
in Avengers.
I rewatched the Marvels. I enjoyed it when I rewatched it. I thought, I was like, you know what? It's not a bad movie. It's entertaining. It's not amazing, but
right.
So I don't think it's the sequel's fault, or Ant-Man 3 and Captain Marvel 2. I don't think it's the brand's fault at all. It's just those movies were so mediocre. Like if she has a place in the story, then you have to make a movie. I wouldn't want a Captain Marvel 3 unless it pushed forward other galactic societies like the Shi'ar or the Spartax and all those. I really want them to build all that. There's so many characters and so much potential, and she fits right into that stuff. But, I'd heard that Eternals 2 is on that list of getting scrapped, but Kevin Feige is fighting to keep it because he has something cooking for Eternals 2, but we'll see. I want Eternals 2, man. That first movie was good. I'm totally fine with no Captain Marvel and no Ant-Man. I'm good with that.
Dude, I will die on the hill that Eternals was a good movie. I enjoyed it, man. There was a lot of redeeming stuff in it. Yes, the story was kind of a mess at points, but there was way more redeeming qualities to it than negative, in my opinion. So I would 100% been down for Eternals 2.
It's okay.
Yeah, get out of here. Hey, get out of here, you son of a bitch.
Get out of here.
It's just too long. That's the problem.
It is, but I never feel that way while watching. I can honestly say I haven't felt that way while watching it. But I can understand people feeling that way, but I just liked it.
Yeah.
So another thing coming out of there dealing with Daniel RPK, and this is kind of the last thing regarding him. We have news that Thunderbolts has wrapped filming, which that's actual news. So we got early reports, which Lub mentioned this earlier, about the Red Hulk being involved, along with Adamantium and the island of Tiamat. And I'm pretty positive those rumors came from Daniel RPK very heavily when that happened. Well, now early reports of, since it's now wrapped filming, is neither of those things happen in this movie. So we got that going for us. So I really don't know what the main plot will be, but it seems as if Adamantium, Tiamat, those are all out, and Red Hulk himself will not be there. But again, this isn't confirmed, but it just kind of goes to show that these rumors from Daniel RPK aren't fact. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, call him out.
So I heard that Tiamat's going to play a role in the Captain America 4 now. And they switched to that, which to me would make more sense because Tiamat is way more of a Captain America, like put your best leader kind of whatever guy out there. And that's what I heard they're doing. So, But Thunderbolts just started filming like last month. Do you mean Captain America ended filming?
I don't know. I guess I'll have to double check that. Now I got to pull that up. I could have swore my report has wrapped it, but I guess you're right. They did kind of just start. Now I got to double check this. Damn it! Now I'm talking trash about Daniel RPK, and here I go.
Because the Yelena actress Florence Pugh, she said because it was on like a month ago, and she was like, "Yeah, I don't even know what's going on with this movie," and people kind of blew it out of proportion, like took it out of context on how small of a scale she meant, but people were freaking out about them having a messy production. But she just meant like, yeah, I don't know when we're starting back up filming. Like, I don't really know what's going on. But then I think they started shortly after.
So maybe go ahead and scrap that part and just focus on the rumors being busted about the plot. Maybe it didn't wrap filming. Now I got to check.
All right, and we'll get back to you guys on that one. But let's keep it up with Marvel. We got an official Avengers 5 title change. So it has been titled Avengers Kang Dynasty for a couple years now, and the Kang character has not worked out at the box office. Fans kind of like him, but the stuff he was in, like Ant-Man 3, didn't work out. So they're getting rid of the Kang character completely, it sounds like. And the title's not going to be Kang Dynasty. We're looking at a way new Avengers 5. So what do you guys, think it could be? Do you like that Kang's gone? David, what do you think?
I don't like it. And real quick, yeah, you're right. They start filming in the spring. I don't know why I wrote wrapped. They were on hold and they start Thunderbolts. But back to Kang. I am bummed about it, man. I don't, like you were saying earlier, in our last Week in Geek cold open, I believe it was, about I want to see him written out in a good way, in a coherent way. I don't want him just disappearing and just not being mentioned again. And the last mention we get is Loki season 2, where they're talking about, we're containing some appearances of this Kang character. Like, I don't want that to be the way this dude goes out. So I get that they had to change the title. I figured that would be the case, but God, I really hope they don't just fully scrap him. Like, explain.
What do you think Feige would do to erase that Ant-Man Quantumania post-credit scene from history?
Oh man,
it's a good question. We should get him on here.
But the initial plan was to split up Secret Wars into 2 movies anyways, and do Secret Wars and Eternity Wars, or Secret Wars Part 1 and 2. So maybe they just kind of scoot it forward a little bit, and Avengers 5 is just Secret Wars Part 1.
Yeah, that's what I think is going to be. And I've got two minds about it, because I did love Jonathan Majors as Kang. I loved him in Ant-Man, even if the movie sucks. He was awesome, and I feel like he would play a really good Avengers-level threat. But I'm also totally fine with it, because this whole era of Marvel's mediocrity on the big screen, or even Disney Plus shows, you can just tie that to Kang so easily, and I feel like he can disappear along with the feeling of mediocrity that's been lingering these past couple years. So it works out for me, and I think it's an opportunity they have where they can kill 2 birds with 1 stone and go into this new era with Feige back with more creative control and Iger, and I have a lot of faith moving forward, and I think it'll just be a good opportunity to get rid of him and that vibe that we've had the past few years. If they had to go, and that's just silver lining, really, because I'd much prefer him stick around, and he's still going to stick around, and I think that's cool too. You could have a good opportunity to build him up in the background as a solid B+ villain that you might see every now and then, and can become more threatening throughout time, and maybe come back in a big way down the line.
But dude, they showed the Council of Kangs in the Quantumania with all the different versions and them plotting to take over the universe, and it's just like, and he showed up again in the end of Loki season 2. It was He Who Remains' plan all along again. Like, he's been behind everything so far in these last couple phases, and now they're just gonna, no, actually he. Just forget that ever happened, and we're just going to move on. Get all the way off my back about Kang, please.
Climb all
when did they say Kang might disappear? I feel like they would have to write him out. Even if they want to get him to disappear, they're going to have to write him out one way or another, right?
Deadpool 3.
Yeah, it's a perfect movie to do it. I don't think it's going to be in that movie, because it comes too quickly after them getting rid of Jonathan Majors and all that. But yeah, something has to happen there. Fantastic Four, maybe.
Right.
Establish Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
No, I can't believe how big of a mess they're in after the first 4 phases, or three phases of the MCU.
Lost my phone for a second. All right. Format. Here we go. So let's keep it on Marvel. X-Men 97. Reviews are coming out. It's looking really good. I think it comes out this week. Dave, what have you been hearing? Are you excited? Are you going to watch it when it comes out immediately, or are you not? I mean, I might personally take a week or two to open it up, but
Yeah, I don't think I'll dive into it opening day. I'll, one of the next times I have a low key morning or something, I'll probably throw it on and watch it. I'm definitely gonna check it out. I'm not hyped for it. I'm hyped for it in the fact that obviously it's my childhood nostalgia coming back to the screen, so I'll be watching it. But it's not like my excitement isn't there as if Clone Wars season 7 was dropping right now or something like that. It's not to that extent. But I'm very curious to see the stories they tell. But it's an interesting thing when you hear a week before it releases that the creator has been fired. And that's what's happened with this. Bo DeMeo has been fired.
That's so crazy.
As the entire show is doing the red carpet promos right now and everything, the creator's gone. So that's always something that creates some red flags there. And my first thought is, well, it was probably because his name's Bo DeMeo. What a goofy-ass name that is. But turns out it was much more serious. No, apparently the guy was just an absolute nightmare to work with. Just reports all over about just how not good of a person this dude was. Just absolutely made it difficult on everybody. So right there, I think, was a reason to kind of start the reason to get him out of there. There were just complaints after complaint after complaint about working with him. And then I think what tipped it off, apparently he has an OnlyFans as well. He's a very outwardly gay man. He's very vocal about that. And apparently he was doing some insanely creepy stuff on his OnlyFans, incredibly explicit to the point where Disney couldn't avert their eyes from it. So that, on top of him being a nightmare to work with, they fired him a week before the show releases. So that's a pretty interesting story coming out of there.
He must be a brilliant artist to keep him on that long and then fire him when it's done, you know?
Normally,
because if it's anyone else, they're just kicking him out and they're going to start over. They've done that so many times before.
Right. Yeah.
But Dave, I do want to say, you waiting to watch the show, you need to take that plaque off the wall behind you right now. That is sacrilege.
I'll watch it first day. Fine.
Well, they should. Is the whole season dropping at once? So you can binge watch it on a Saturday morning with cartoons and cereal?
I
think it's only
so.
3 episodes.
3?
Don't quote me on that.
Oh, okay. I imagine it's more than 1 at the start. They're not going to drop a 22-minute,
Yeah.
Okay,
no,
22
it's
minutes.
A 3
Wait till next week.
Drop. Yeah.
Okay, nice. There you go, JD.
Well, I mean, I love the X-Men, but animated's not my huge thing. I'm not that excited. I don't see it blowing my socks off. But I'll definitely give it a shot.
Yeah.
And they nerfed Rogue.
Apparently they didn't. The people who viewed the Inside thing, they just said that's just one clip. Everybody was freaking out about the Rogue retcon. You'll be fine. Watch it. You'll be okay. So who knows what the hell that means? But
this is a family podcast. We'll keep it at that. But they nerfed her in the picture.
Okay, so we covered a little bit of Henry Cavill stuff in the cold open. Do you have anything more on that? Do you guys think that he'll be Wolverine, or do you think he'll be someone else? What do you think he'll be? Who is this guy?
I don't know. I feel like it's almost too obvious for him to be a Wolverine variant. I mean, it makes sense, but he's such a big fanboy as is, and DC, did him dirty. The Witcher did him dirty. So let's give him third time's the charm with the MCU. Let's give him a character he can actually take on for more than one movie. And if he's in this movie in Deadpool, it'll probably be 10 minutes max.
Yeah. It'll be a short amount. And
if that.
The reason why I think it's going to just be this, as I just started thinking about it more, even though I want him to be Cyclops, but he's fully invested in this Warhammer 40K show that is his passion project, his lifelong passion project that he's been nothing but ecstatic to talk about it since he started working on it. So the more I think about that, the more I'm like, well, he probably wouldn't want to sign a contract like Cyclops with the MCU if he is I'm pretty sure he's producing this and writing this and maybe acting in it too. Like, he's fully invested in this project. So, unless, Cyclops might not come out for a few years, so he might have some time. But I think it's just going to be the cameo.
Just do 6 months Marvel, 6 months 40K Warhammer.
Yeah, there you go.
Warhammer 40K, whatever
There
it's
you go.
called.
I didn't want to correct
The
it.
story sounds crazy, though.
Yeah, it does.
I could definitely see him as Wolverine. He looks like he could pull off that savage, little muscular, dark-haired dude.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want him long-term in the MCU as Wolverine for 10 years for sure, but...
Yeah.
Right.
I wanted to ask you guys real quick, since we're talking about X-Men casting and stuff. We've talked about Giancarlo and Denzel, like, maybe they could be the Professor X and Magneto thing. And Giancarlo is still talking about it, about, like, yes, I would totally want to be Professor X. But I don't know if you guys saw the quote. It just came out. But he essentially was like, yes, I'm all for it, but I don't want to be in a wheelchair. I have no interest in being in a wheelchair to film, blah, 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 blah. So that's got to be out. Or we're changing that part if I do it. And I get it, but my first thought is kind of like, don't try out for Darth Vader if you don't want to be in a suit. That's kind of the name of the game with this role here. I know James McAvoy walked for one movie, but it just kind of is like, maybe go out for a different role then if you don't like half of the concept behind the character. But I don't know what you guys thought about that.
Right?
But.
No, I totally agree. Like, that's
Agreed.
ridiculous.
Yeah. Would love him as Professor X, though. That'd be sick. And Denzel would make I don't know if I'm sold on Denzel as Magneto, though.
Oh, okay.
I don't see Denzel as a Marvel guy.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah. All right, last thing for Marvel, then we're going to move on to Star Wars. Shang-Chi, it is actually. So, Dave, did you know it when you brought that up in the cold open? These rumors have Iron Fist a part of Shang-Chi too.
Yeah, the time travel in Iron Fist, I heard the rumor from the Daniel RPK when I chose to pick the Shang-Chi thing. But yeah, so I kind of cheated.
Right. Okay, so yeah, that is the rumor. And
You're out of here.
You are. Goodbye. The only reason I like it is because Iron Fist didn't work out that well for them, and the character, they didn't really nail the character. It's not comic accurate, and he wasn't very likable. So I think the trick is I don't want that same Danny Rand. I don't want that actor to play him, but since this Netflix Daredevil show stuff is all canonized, like, it's probably just going to be him. Anyway, if it's him, fine, but you got to reinvigorate the character and be more comic accurate, and I think Shang-Chi is a perfect bridge for that, over into the mystical kung fu side of things. So I think that would work out real well.
For sure. Yeah, I'm up for it. Like you said, they got to improve upon the character, but yeah, I think they will. You can't make that worse. That the Danny Rand and the Netflix thing was rough.
Yeah. So we'll see if that's true. Let's move on to Star Wars. So crazy because I have personally been talking about Rogue Squadron for a while. Like, I liked that she dropped that video talking about how it's like in her family, her dad was a pilot, and a lot meant, Rogue Squadron meant a lot to her. She was excited to do a dogfight show in space and all this stuff. And I was always excited. The book is well received, but we heard nothing about it for years, and we assumed it was scrapped. I don't know if we heard it was scrapped, but it kind of it was scrapped. Well, apparently Patty Jenkins had something in her contract that required her to make this movie for them, and by a certain time. So Patty Jenkins is doing Rogue Squadron still. Had me thinking, it's funny because we're always talking about getting out in or out of the Skywalker era, especially, so for me with the Jedi side of things, absolutely. We know that story. But if you consider the legacy of those characters, Han Solo, Darth Vader, Leia, everything, how cool would this be? A way to keep it alive. Stay in the Skywalker era for future movies, but with those stories that are super ground level, like Lost Stars, one of the best books. And the thing is, you could have that legacy in the background. Like, Darth Vader is a legend in there, the Empire, the Emperor, Han and Leia are heroes. Like, that legacy is in the background, just like it is for the audience, which is the true legacy of Star Wars after everything it's been through up until now. It's still the Skywalkers, Leia, Han Solo, it's still them. Right. But yeah, so I think the Rogue Squadron idea could be cool. I almost think they might have talked about bleeding a little of the Lost Stars story into this story. You could pull that off easy. They're pilots, and that's a really good story. Happens during big events, like the Death Star blowing up Tatooine or the Death Star blowing up. You could have these events happening in the background. So I thought that was a cool way to stay in the Skywalker era. How much... Sorry, not Tatooine. Princess Leia's...
Wait a second.
Alderaan. Right. Yeah. But we always talk about getting out of the Skywalker era. But I think that's a cool way to stay in the Skywalker era and just focus on personal stories, more character, more development. No Jedi. Maybe a Jedi right. If he's like low key in the community, has never and will never get caught. He could play a role in a smaller scale. They could do fun stuff. There's stuff. So Rogue Squadron, Are you guys excited about this one or no?
Okay. It's okay to stay inside the Skywalker saga if it's not going to just continue the story of the Skywalkers. Like, right. If they want to make a movie like Rogue Squadron where it's just totally on its own, off to the side, but happening in between A New Hope and Empire, or Empire and Return of the Jedi, that's fine. They can do that kind of stuff. That's totally cool. It's just expanding our knowledge of this, universe where you want to live in.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say I want to see the movie. I want to see Rogue Squadron made because, like you said, we were all pretty disappointed when they scrapped it a couple years ago, or whenever that was. So when I saw they were doing it, I'm down for it. I still want to get out of the Skywalker era, even though there still is stories to tell, and we still are. I mean, we have Andor, we got Bad Batch, we still have things being told that kind of flesh out that stuff. There are stories to be told
Ahsoka.
there. The only thing that would really, Ahsoka too, keep me in this is different tones, different style of direction. I'm down for more pilot stories and stuff like that with smaller people in the Empire, but I want it to have a different, like, Andor-style tone. I don't want it to stay with these stories and eras in the same exact tone as the original trilogy, which isn't a bad thing. I feel like it needs to have a fresh spin to it. It needs to bring in something else to pad on top of the cool story. Because I agree with you. There's plenty of cool stories to still tell. I think I need something different when it comes to that.
This is absolutely one of those things that you don't make for the sake of having something in that era. You only exclusively make it if you have a great story to tell. And then you paint it in the Star Wars colors, and have the legacy of all that shit in the background. That's fun Easter eggs that you could easily do, just talking about the legend of R2-D2 and C-3PO and shit like that in the background.
Hell yeah.
But good story first, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on to The Acolyte. Has a release date. Let's go, baby, because to me it felt like it was just not happening. I don't know if you guys had that. It seems like it was whatever. I mean, we heard... Yeah, I know, delayed something. It doesn't feel like we're getting a show about a Sith. It still doesn't feel like it really, but apparently that's what this is. Yeah, and there was a thing on TikTok that came up this week. It was on this day 1 year ago, and it was me talking about losing faith in Star Wars, and I posted it. And a year from then, my excitement definitely excited after the Ahsoka. I think Andor was within the past year, but all the Mandalorian, Grogu, Thrawn stuff, my excitement's up. And The Acolyte is something I'm definitely excited for. We hear it's about Sith and stuff like that before, the Phantom Menace. So, Dave, how you feeling about The Acolyte here?
Yeah, I agree. I know what you mean by it felt like it wasn't really happening, even though I've seen some set photos. But it's got that weird feel where it's just like we haven't heard a lot about it other than kind of negative stuff recently about, whatever the director's saying, whatever. So it's sweet. We're getting it in June. That's awesome. I'm going into it with some skepticism, but also hope, because like you said, if they do this the right way, this could be a freaking amazing show. So I'm here for any attempt at telling a Sith first story.
Right. It's just crazy how out of touch Star Wars is with like reality or what the fans want, or like marketing their shows, unless it's The Mandalorian. It's so weird how they do it. Like, even Bad Batch, anything but The Mandalorian just doesn't get marketing where it's just like, okay, it's coming out in a month. Like, here you go. Here's our first trailer. Hope you watched on Disney Plus.
It's just muddled.
We're not going to make a movie in 7 years because we got scared of the last one, so we just can't make another one ever again.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. No. It's a weird cycle of news reporting that Star Wars is in as a franchise, to the point where we've gotten there where we're like, well, I'm not going to believe it's actually happening if you say, well, set for 2026. It's like, well, we'll see. We'll see if it's still set for 2026 next year.
So true. Speaking of projects not happening, sticking with Star Wars, Mandalorian Season 4. So Pedro Pascal's stunt double, someone who wears the Mandalorian suit on set, he was asked about Season 4, and he said there are no current plans for Season 4. So they're dropping that big... They're doing the movie, the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Do you think that is going to kind of climax where the Mandalorian show was going? Sorry, no, I guess that'll all go into Thrawn. Let me switch it like this. So, Caleb, are you excited that there's no Season 4? Do you think that they just condensed it into a movie, or what are your thoughts on this?
I don't know. I'm kind of confused, and I would like maybe Mandalorian Season 4 to be about Bo-Katan and, those two clans going against each other, and her, because she does have the Darksaber. She is the leader of the Mandalorians now. So, oh shit, it's broken. My bad. It's been a while. But, I mean, Mandalorian, maybe he's just not, because Mandalorian's not in Mandalorian Season 4. Maybe it's still happening.
Oh, that's an interesting take. Yeah.
Interesting. That's very well could be. If he has his own movie, then you do Bo-Katan and the whole Mandalorian culture. It's just, I wasn't a fan of the Bo-Katan stuff. I like her as a character, but I didn't like all the focus, like Season 3 was just on her. And so it's going Bo-Katan centric for me would make me lose excitement for sure.
You can't have Mandalorian without Grogu.
Yeah. That was still the coolest surprise, Episode 1, when we didn't know what the show was really going to be about. A freaking Yoda
Season
species
1, best
baby.
season.
Dude, yeah.
Chill turncoat.
Get him, Steven. All right. Is that it on Star Wars? Find out in 2 seconds. Nope.
What about the...
Yes, it is. No, it isn't. The Battlefront Classic Collection.
Ooh, good save.
So yeah, I'm gonna I'll throw this one to you, Dave. Haven't played those ones, so.
Yeah, so we had a big announcement. March 14th, Battlefront Classic Collection will release. We got 64 on 64 wars, cross-platform, PlayStation, Xbox, PC. All these are going to be able to play online on this. And they didn't really remaster it, but they added some characters, some maps.
Heroes versus Villains.
Yeah, Heroes versus Villains is back on there for the first two. And the point was this was just, they were giving attention to the servers. It was going to be available to play, and they were going to fix a few things. And that's just... Me growing up on Battlefront was one of the first Xbox games I really played a lot, and played it a lot after I got it. Battlefront 2, played that with all my buddies online. That was one of the first matchmaking games. Like, there's so much nostalgia there and just joy coming out of the first two Battlefront games. So I was stoked. I was talking to my buddies about it. We're all stoked. And in classic Star Wars, we come out with a massive failure. So they roll out this game a few days ago. 10,000 players on Steam alone, opening night. 3 servers up. 3 total servers with a measly 64 slots each, which pans out to roughly 200 slots for players. The rest of the players just experienced massive glitches, could not find a game. The game crashed. You couldn't join anything. It was just an absolute nightmare, and they haven't fixed anything. So they charged people $35 for this. They didn't remaster it, and it was literally unplayable. And the game, on top of that, was over 60 gigabytes, which I don't know how the hell, like, the first 2 games combined are like 19. And other stuff have been coming out about, like, the trailer promo they released. They used footage from some random Twitch streamer's modded Battlefront experience and used it as if it was real gameplay. Just, like, amateur crap pouring out left and right in news reports. All to say that it was by a company called Asper. or Aspire, but an absolute flop failure of release for Star Wars video games. So,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Yeah, I actually watched a YouTube video. Zanny, he's like he posts videos playing video games basically.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, he's a funny guy, but he did one of the new Battlefront collection, and it was a mess. Like guys are just like glitching, like flying past you. Like Chewbacca was just like flying in the air past him. Like you like just randomly die all the time and have to respawn, and it was wild. Like how bad the game was. So and it was. I mean, they've been working on it for a while. I don't understand how they weren't ready for this.
No idea, but they're just dropping the balls left and right on this stuff with, Knights of the Old Republic being remastered, and that's called off. It was just disappointing, man.
Oh god.
At least they got the movie side of things down. Oh wait,
Hopefully.
you should do a Top Gun Maverick Star Wars movie. Oh wait, that already happened too. That's a New Hope. No.
Dude, they should get the Top Gun Maverick guy to do the cinematography for Rogue Squadron.
Oh my
Totally.
Sick.
Choreographer. Put the whole team on there, dude. Even
Yeah,
Tom
right?
Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Put the whole team on the
Pilot.
That'd be hilarious.
Like have them fly jets and do green screen in the background, like of the inside of the jet. That'd be so sick.
Yeah. Here you go. Star Wars is
All right. We're back. All right. Well, let's move on to DC. I got a quote here. There's a lot of stuff going on. One thing is he's not going to Comic-Con, him personally. DC will probably still be there. And he simply said, hey, I'm working. Like, I'm going to be shooting the film. And I love that. I love that his style is not a facade. It is about the work and the product. I think he knows we're all so sick of sitting here getting a ton of news in our face, talking about what's going to happen and what these studios are going to release just for it to not happen. And it's like, he's going to skip that process and he's just going to deliver. And that's cool. Plus, I'm pretty sure he has another year anyway. I don't know if they could do next Comic-Con. But yeah, I like that. That's fine. He's going to be shooting. He's about the business.
Yeah,
but
don't worry about that.
we got quotes about the DCU, and this is from the Direct. This is Zaslav, the CEO, is talking about how he's had a glimpse into what James Gunn and Peter Safran are doing. It really does serve as an exciting indicator of where the new DC is headed under their leadership. But the big thing here is he says, within the next couple of months, we'll have James and Peter take you through, in the next few months, a full spectrum of what they see over the next 10 years. So pretty soon we're gonna be getting a lot of news. Like, I don't know if they're going full Marvel Comic-Con, giving us a whole slate. I feel like they have to keep some stuff a mystery, though. You got to give us, like, if you show us like all your releases in 10 years, a few of those got to be a mystery, a question mark movie on a
Right.
release date.
Totally.
I don't want to know everything, but I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, remember the days when we
Marvel's
didn't
toast.
know? Well, yeah, dude. Remember when we didn't know a character was coming to the big screen, but then you would see him in an end credit or see them in a movie, and it was crazy. Like, I want that
Yeah.
again, a little bit. Some of
that.
it.
Well, the internet ruins everything.
Yeah, we're almost out of those days of that being possible.
Dude,
Yeah.
like, I was thinking the other day about Darth Vader at the end of Rogue One. That was so crazy. Like,
God.
Just God-given. All right, well, James Gunn continues. This is actually Gunn talking. He says, a lot of people think it's going to be Marvel 2.0, and I definitely learned a lot of stuff at Marvel. I think we're going to have a lot of differences. He says, the DC here, we're going to tell a huge central story that is like Marvel, except for I think that we're a lot more planned out than Marvel from the beginning because we've got a group of writers together to work that story out completely. But we're also creating a universe that is like Star Wars, where there's different times, different places, different things.
Whoa.
Or Game of Thrones, where characters are a little bit more morally complex. That's all.
Zaslav said this?
This is James Gunn now.
Oh, James Gunn said that.
This is from James Gunn, yeah. But, I mean,
He's
that's
really
pretty
tooting
good.
his own horn here, huh?
Yeah. Right? It's going to be like Star
being
Wars,
modest.
Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, Marvel, Godfather,
Yeah, better.
Titanic.
Yeah. just roughly like that. No big deal.
The big takeaway for me is that the big thing is the writers, that the fact that they have their whole process planned out with the writers, and that's big for me, because just the way Star Wars has been doing it, that ain't what they've been doing. Doesn't seem like that's what Marvel has been doing under their previous CEO, and it's good to know we're going into this with that kind of organization and that kind of mindset from a fan too, a comic book fan. That's why I think it's gonna be magic.
Right.
Yeah, that's
But
awesome.
but if you look at Marvel, like, things went pretty well for the first 3 phases, and then, like something like Jonathan Majors gets arrested for assault or or whatever, and things go a different direction. So there's just some things you can't plan for. Like, there's always going to be something unexpected that happens. Maybe an actor passes away or goes to prison, or a writer steps away and doesn't want to work for you anymore.
But to an extent, their problems started before the Majors incident, and a lot of those problems stemmed from them not having a real writer's room anymore to collab and plan this stuff out, which they did in the first few phases. It seemed like they had a plan. They all knew what the main goal was when they were working, or they just worked very well together, but it seemed like they had a coherent plan. But then we started getting reports they don't have a writer's room. They don't have this layers that normal movie studios do have and use to make coherent storytelling like that. So I don't know. I think it's a good sign. I didn't really expect anything different from James Gunn. I think he knows where the MCU is kind of struggling right now. So yeah, it's good.
I really think that lack of collaboration between everybody is super correlated to Chapek, the last CEO. Like, when he was there, it seems like they lost all that harmony, so it seems like a direct correlation.
Yeah.
Daddy's back. Don't worry.
Daddy's back. And the fact that James Gunn has seen how Marvel had done it at their best, with he was there when he was creating Guardians of the Galaxy. They were just dropping Phase 1, and all the way through Infinity War. Like, he saw that well-functioned machine operate, and he's gonna bring that over here to DC, dude. Whew.
Right. But, Iger fleeced George Lucas for Star Wars, so if he's back in charge, I think things are going to be in the right direction.
Yeah, that totally affects Star Wars too, doesn't it? I didn't even think of that, of course.
Yeah. Iger fucking run shit.
So now we got confirmation that Peacemaker Season 1 will not be DCU canon. So, Dave, you think that's a good move?
It's a confusing move for sure. I don't know what the hell to think. I feel like you easily could have kept it canon. The only thing that would have messed it up is the last throwaway scene with the cameos from the Justice League. So I don't really understand it, to be honest. I don't know why you would do that. But it is interesting because Superman has begun filming, and Peacemaker 2 will begin filming soon, and they're going to be filming simultaneously. And James Gunn has come out to said that not only does Peacemaker 2 take place chronologically after Superman, but the events of Superman will directly affect the plot of Peacemaker Season 2. So my thought is maybe the magnitude of that effect is so great that we won't even be concerned about what happened in Season 1. I'm assuming you have to.
Yeah.
You got to write Season 2 in such a way that we're not asking why or how is this connected to the last season. So I think it's a weird move to not make it canon. It feels unnecessary, but I'm still very excited for it.
What would James Gunn do to take away that throwaway scene at the end of Peacemaker?
Different
Call back.
universe. That's all you could do.
Oh, my brain did not process what you just said.
Me
I
neither.
got it now. I'm caught up.
I'm still, yeah, I got it.
Because that's probably the one reason why Season 1 can't be canon. Because it shows the Justice League.
Affect anything though?
But Batman, Superman, and Aquaman all know each other already, and they're in the same. They're in the same area.
Yeah, I guess so. And all of his comments, he probably doesn't want Peacemaker's comments about Wonder Woman being a whore or whatever else he said throughout the season going on in canon.
And Batman.
So I'm good with that. I'm sure there's a reason.
Yeah.
I had the Titans movie confirmed. Moving on to that, so we brought it up in the cold open. But well, what do you guys think? Because for me, it seems too early. It just seems too early for me. I would much rather see more development. We've talked about this with Batman and Superman, but all these teams are already put together. It seems like Justice League or Society, something's put together. If all these heroes are in Superman, like Mr. Fantastic and Green Lantern. The Green Lanterns are already established, apparently. Like, Batman's already got his son coming as Robin, so it's like we're skipping ahead too much. I think Teen Titans should wait. They're the secondary characters of the main characters. I would much rather get to know them and how they come into the picture before a Teen Titans movie. Now, with that said, the Teen Titans movie, under the leadership of James Gunn, I would be very excited to see it. I would just rather them wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get that too. I would. But it makes sense to me with the way they're doing everything else, which I'm kind of starting to realize I don't know if I like this. Because it seems like we're being dropped in the middle of it. He said it's not a Superman origin story. We're already going to have Batman and Damian Wayne and the Brave and the Bold. The Lanterns are already formed. Not only that, but Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan are both exist already. So we're kind of being dropped into the middle of a DC universe that seems to have existed for a while, and teams have already been formed. And so in that regard, the timing makes sense. But I agree with you. I'm kind of like, I want to see this universe created. I trust that he'll do it well, but part of the fun is watching these people interact for the first time and watching these relationships form. So I am getting a little bit more like, it's kind of a bummer as the more news comes out.
Right. It's kind of cool though because it's different from Marvel. Like maybe that's his approach. He doesn't want to just do the MCU all over again. So let's just start in this established universe, not too far in the story, but. Yeah, Superman's Superman. Maybe there's no Justice League yet. Maybe they're just all established as their own solo characters doing their own thing.
Yeah, because I still think Superman's going to learn from the Authority's mistake and try to recreate the Authority without their flaws, and that's the Justice League.
Right. Which makes sense. But
yeah. All right, well, that's all I got, so unless you guys are wrapped up.
I got a little, while we're talking
Looks
about
like we're good to go.
Superman.
All right, see you guys later.
Well, Superman, I don't think we've actually talked about it since all the news broke, but Superman Legacy is no longer Superman Legacy. They dropped it, so it's just Superman. We saw the new logo, which is inspiration from the Kingdom Come logo that we've seen, but it's not black and red as some of those famous things are. It looks like it's the red and gold. But they're already filming. They just shot in Norway for scenes about the Fortress of Solitude. So they're doing on-location filming for this stuff, which is awesome. And we just found out James Gunn confirmed the entire movie is being filmed in IMAX, which is awesome. Like that gets me hyped to the point where I feel like it's going to be an epic movie more so than I have before. If he's shooting the whole thing on IMAX, if he's going to Norway for these Fortress of Solitude shots, it really gets me feeling like this is going to be a beautifully shot movie. So I'm getting more and more excited for it.
Same.
I've never
that
seen a
is all good news. What do you got, love?
I've never seen a Superman movie in theaters, so I'm excited for that. I didn't see Man of Steel.
Dude, me neither. I just realized. Interesting. Hell yeah. We'll have to get together for that one. Okay. Cross-reference with freaking Comic-Con. And then do it both. All right. Let's So the Superman thing, I mentioned it on a TikTok, but I didn't say it for the podcast. I'll say it for the podcast audience. The Kingdom Come logo, my thing is, so it's taken out of Kingdom Come. The only other thing I've seen it on is the Superman and the Authority comic book, and the Authority. But the Authority is like a rogue. They're trying to do the right thing, but they don't care about collateral damage. If 1,000 people die in a building, they're going to leave and not care about it. That's the Authority. It's kind of like the boys. They have good intentions. They're not as evil as like a Homelander. But anyway, it seems like Superman and the Authority will be closely related. I think Superman will kind of maybe even join the team, be close to the Authority, until that the moral complexities there. There's a lot of conflict with that. Maybe they become the villains. He's got to fight them or stop them, but that's what I think the Authority is going to play into this. And when you look at that logo, it also connects to the Kingdom Come story about Superman putting that old retired Justice League team together to fight younger heroes that are rogue and morally complex. So it totally seems like the Authority is going to be that morally complex group of heroes in Kingdom Come that Superman has to stop. But we dial it back from the Justice League stuff, and it's just Superman and this team of Authority. And yeah, so that's what I think about that.
Yeah.
It's long enough.
Sounds dope to me.
Really hope the Justice League isn't already a team. They haven't said that yet, but we'll see.
Yeah.
And that'll do it for today. Thank you for joining us. Again, Why So Sidious Pod is not what we're ending with, and David's got something.
We were just going to touch on Dune real quick before we rolled out here. I know we had
Oh, that's my
on
bad.
it.
Yeah.
We had that episode, and JD he really hates us, but I get it. So, we'll just so we went and rewatched it. There's a few other things I think we're going to touch on there, but one thing is I kind of want to just run down the similarities of Star Wars stuff real quick. Just run down a list of things and concepts that it stole, because there's a lot of people out there claiming that they didn't steal concepts and it's just coincidental, but I thought it'd be kind of funny to roll down real quick. So, Twin Moon and Twin Suns stolen. We got Sarlacc pits and sandworms, literally pretty much the exact scene. We have literally the exact scene of the Millennium Falcon flying out of a worm and barely escaping it as it comes crashing back down to the sand, which happened in The Empire Strikes Back, I believe. We've got Jabba's pretty much Baron Harkonnen, which later in Dune actually is another character that's a worm-human hybrid and literally looks exactly like Jabba the Hutt. We have the Chosen One story, who also happens to have a tragic love story in which the female can't follow him down a dark path he is going after he has dreams of her dying. The hero learns that the villain is his grandfather, just like the hero learns that the villain is his father in Star Wars. Princess Aaliyah in Dune, Princess Leia. Tatooine desert planet.
On the nose.
Dune, Arrakis.
Come on, George.
We got spice, which is a drug, gets you very high and is sold a lot in Underground, even though it's obviously more prominent in Dune. We got the sand crawlers,
Star Wars
literally collecting spice on Arrakis. We have the sand crawlers in Star Wars, moisture farmers in Star Wars, dew collectors in Dune. We got the space mines of Kessel, which I just talked about. The voice is pretty much the Jedi mind tricks. There's literally something in Dune called Prana Bendu, which is the Bene Gesserit training techniques, and the name of the Jedi training technique in Star Wars is Jedi Bendu, literally the same word. What else is there? I mean, other than, I guess, Jabba, I guess I covered a lot of it. There's a few other things I'm forgetting right now, but that's just, just a quick list of the similar concepts. But, just real quick. Beloved, did you have any other, because we went and rewatched it, we obviously had a lot more thoughts going. Was there anything else you were going to kind of throw out there?
I had some thoughts, but I'll just keep it quick. I was actually thinking the other day, if this movie came out in October, imagine it going up against Oppenheimer at the Oscars. I don't think Oppenheimer would have ran away with everything. It would have been like a true 50-50 matchup because Oppenheimer won like 7 Oscars.
Yeah, got 7.
I mean, Dune is taking cinematography over Oppenheimer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, for sure.
And the score. I mean, I'm sorry, Ludwig. I love you from The Mandalorian, but Hans Zimmer is getting another one up on that shelf.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Dude. So Lub's already started reading the book. I want to eventually get to the point where we maybe do an episode comparing the book to the movie. My book got put on back order. I thought it was going to be here soon, so that sucks. But I'm going to read it. JD, I don't know if you intend to read it, but lean in, maybe not
It's
so
good.
much.
I don't know. I'm a big reader. That's a big commitment right now, and I'm
It's a
stopping
big book, too.
2 things from terrorizing the house 24/7. It's tough to read it
That's
all.
fair. That's fair. Well, maybe down the line then we'll give you if we recommend it or not. But there's a couple interesting aspects of the book. So there's a ton of books out there. Frank Herbert wrote 5, and then his son took over. And Frank, the 4th and 5th ones, things get really freaking weird. So I'm probably just going to read Dune Messiah, and Children of Dune, and probably stop there. But it's very interesting because Denis goes into this, and Paul is shown as more of a villain, I think, than the book initially showed it. And that's because, so after the book came out, Frank Herbert was like literally like very discouraged because everybody took Paul as the hero and him being on the hero's journey. And that's not what he intended by this. He intended to write this as a story of a warning story about false messiahs. And so he literally wrote Dune Messiah to clarify the role Paul had in his story. And so that kind of gives you a hint at the movie and what's going to happen, because he literally wrote it to tell you that Paul is not a hero. So Denis did this movie with that in mind. I thought that was super cool. But there's a lot of complaints out there about Paul and what he did to Shawnee, and we talked about that a little bit. And so I just wanted to throw out there, people said if he was really all-powerful, he would have broke the wheel and not taken Princess Irulan's hand, but instead taken Shawnee's. And in the book, Shawnee does not leave. She follows him because she understands that Princess Irulan is essentially a political hostage, and she understands that she is the true wife, and Paul assures her that, and Jessica assures her that even though we're seen as concubines now, we will be seen as wives down the path. So Shawnee doesn't leave him behind. But yeah, everybody's giving him crap for going with Princess Irulan and not going with Shawnee. So I just wanted to get it out there. I already said this to Love, but I just wanted to ask, how did that go for Robb Stark? Because Robb Stark went with his heart, and her pregnant belly got stabbed multiple times along with the rest of his house, and everybody got slaughtered and killed. So I'm trusting Paul in this decision here. I'm sorry, Shawnee.
Yeah, and Denis changed more things from the book than we thought. Like the whole being born in the North versus the South, and how the South is the ones who are like big into the prophecy, and the younger people from the North, where she's from, aren't. And I think just Chani's whole, I haven't gotten to that part in the book yet, but I think Zendaya's portrayal of Chani is so much different than it is in the book. Like, she's a very strong woman who believes in her ways, not going to believe in this false messiah. I think Shani's more kind of, down with the cause. She actually does. I think she actually does believe he's the messiah, or like is more down with what he's doing. So it's a whole different concept.
Yeah, interesting.
But that does make me think, with the changes he made, I wonder if Dune Messiah is going to take place 12 years after, like it does in the books. I wonder if maybe he will scoot it up a little bit to change things.
Yeah, it's casting.
Less of a
casting
jump.
alone, it's tough. Yeah. I'd prefer them do less of a jump, but you have the whole thing with his sister as Anya Taylor-Joy, and his sister plays a massive role in the book. His sister's born in the book, like she's alive. She's a young, creepy girl. But yeah, I just
she does have to be.
Sorry.
She has to be a character in Dune Messiah. She has to be a big character in Dune Messiah.
Yeah, for sure. But it's just, I just wanted to touch on that again. This movie and franchise hit me harder than anything has in years. I think even more than Endgame. I think my theatrical reaction to this has been longer lasting. Like, I still can't stop thinking about this movie.
Yeah,
so.
Totally.
This is crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
All right, well, that wraps it up. Thanks for joining us at Why So Sidious. Our social medias is Why So Sidious Pod, TikTok, Instagram, X, YouTube. And we'll see you next time. I don't know what we're cooking. MCU rankings. We're always going to get a little Week in Geek. We might throw at you a E for Extinction X-Men comic book review with Cassandra Nova, the villain of Deadpool 3. So we'll see what happens. But until next time.